200 years ago, batteaus, flat-bottomed shallow draft vessels, pointed at both ends, plied the waters of the Dan River Basin. Hauling freight from the mountains to the towns, these vessels became the mainstay of inland shipping, moving goods across the water by means of poles and oars. North Carolina was home to a significant batteau navigation system on the Dan River, and so, in 2002, the Dan River Basin Association commissioned the building of a 40-foot-long batteau to be used for historic tours along the river. In 2008, storms and high waters on the Dan River took her down to a watery grave, coming to rest on the muddy bottom near the present-day Leakesville Landing. She remained here covered in silt in passing time until June of 2010, when a historic operation was undertaken to raise the batteau from its watery tomb. Dr. Lindley Butler, coordinator for the project, brought in a professional team from the North Carolina Underwater Archeology branch based out of Fort Fisher. Together with volunteer staff from the Dan River Basin Association and Three Rivers Outfitters, the team began the historic underwater recovery operation in an attempt to bring the batteau to the surface once again.
Well, we came in this morning, probably got in the river and started dredging sand around the base of the batteau. By 11:30, using an airbag and inserted under the batteau, which was on its side, it broke loose. We could see it very quickly. We could see it. So by around noon, we were beginning to work to try to get it turned over. And so rigging lines, using pulleys. We were able finally, well, by 1:30 or so, to get it, to have it completely turned upright.
This is off. This is off. Keep going. I can't go any further.
So right now it's floating, but it's very waterlogged, and it's floating only a few feet off the bottom, and if you step on it, it goes down. Right now you can hear in the background the pump. They're dredging sand and mud out of the Batteau. There is sand and mud in it. We're trying to lighten it as much as possible, and then bring in a fire hose to wrap around it, and then fill the hose with air, and we'll have a buoyancy for it and be able to float it. We hope by late afternoon we'll be floating it down the river to take it out at the boat landing, which is about 1.5 miles below here, with a trailer. We have a trailer for it.
That's what you're talking about, wasn't it, Mark? That's what I'm talking about.
It's just a great experience to be dealing with it anyway. I mean, I'm a diver and a historian, and so, I mean, it doesn't get any better than this, you know, working in the field like this with a project where you have an object, in this case a boat or batteau, that was so important to the history of this region, and I'm a native of this region, so and been on this river since I was a teenager, so really very important to me.
And so, in the murky waters of the Dan River, the divers set about their work, dredging the silt off the overturned batteau and affixing lines and float bags in zero visibility conditions. By late in the afternoon of the second day, they had freed the vessel from the river bottom's grip and raised the Dan River Batteau from the muddy depths. With an assist from the rising waters and the Eden Rescue Squad's motorized John boat, they pointed the Batteau into the current and began a treacherous ride down the Dan River, narrowly missing the stone pylons of a long-ago bridge and guiding her gently on her final voyage downstream. After a tremendous battle with the current at the boat ramp, she was safely trailered and hauled from the river. Although in surprisingly good condition, she will never again float the mighty Dan, but instead be used as an interpretive exhibit for those who wish to learn more about a historic bygone era of river navigation and commerce in the Dan River Basin.